Hey, ever wonder why marshmallows don't melt into a gooey puddle when you stick them in the oven? They're basically a sugary jelly bean with a secret recipe for staying soft. It's like they've got a little magic trick up their sleeve. So, you've got this sugary blob that's basically a sugar and air mix. It's like a fluffy cloud made of candy. But how does it stay soft when the oven's trying to melt it? Well, it's not just sugar, it's also a bunch of air bubbles trapped inside. Think of it like a sponge, but with sugar and goo. The more air, the fluffier and softer it stays. But wait, the oven's hot. Shouldn't that melt everything? No, because the sugar is actually a kind of stabilizer that keeps the structure from collapsing. It's like the marshmallows got a built-in shield. So, when you pop one in the oven, it's like sending a sugar cloud on a journey. It gets hot, but the structure holds, and when you take it out, it's still soft and squishy, like a giant candy pillow. So, what exactly are we talking about? Let me clarify. We're not talking about marshmallows in a microwave. We're talking about the magic that happens when you stick them in an oven. Like, the kind of oven that can melt a chocolate bar into a gooey mass. We're asking how something that's mostly sugar and air can stay soft and squishy inside a hot oven, instead of turning into a rock-hard candy brick. It's like asking how a marshmallow can survive a lava bath and still be chewable. So, you're baking cookies, and the marshmallow is like that one friend who always brings the cake to the party. You didn't ask for it, but you're still kinda glad it's there. But here's the thing, marshmallows are basically a science experiment in a candy wrapper. They're like a gelatinous astronaut floating through the oven, trying not to melt into a sad puddle. And you, my friend, are the scientist in this scenario. You're the one who gets to decide whether that marshmallow becomes a gooey cloud or a crispy snack that makes you regret your life choices. So, why do you care? Well, because if you don't know how to keep your marshmallows soft, you're basically letting your cookie go to sleep in the oven and then waking it up to find it's all crispy and sad. Plus, if you know the secret, you're one step closer to being a baking legend. Like the person who knows how to make the perfect s'more and can explain why it works. That's basically like having a PhD in campfire fun. So, marshmallows didn't always stay soft. Back in the day, they were like the original snack that went bad in the oven. People tried to make them, but they just turned into sad, hard rocks. No one knew why. Then some smart cookie came up with a trick. They added sugar, cornstarch, and a bunch of other weird stuff. It was like giving a marshmallow a magic potion to stay soft forever. People tried to copy it, but they messed up. Some made them too sweet, some made them too sticky. It was like a marshmallow version of a cooking show gone wrong. Eventually, someone figured out the secret, the right mix of sugar, air, and moisture. It was like giving a marshmallow a spa day, but with more heat and less glitter. And that's how marshmallows became the ultimate soft snack. They're like the OG snack that mastered the art of staying soft, even in the oven. Pretty cool, huh? So imagine you're making a marshmallow, and it's like a tiny pillow full of goo. When you put it in the oven, it's like telling the pillow to stretch out and get cozy. But instead of getting squished, it gets soft and squishy because the heat is like a warm hug for the goo. The goo inside the marshmallow is like a bunch of sticky glue balls. When you heat it up, the glue balls start to melt and flow around, making the marshmallow all squishy and stretchy. It's like making Play-Doh go from solid to gooey in the microwave. But here's the trick. The marshmallow doesn't melt because it's got the special magic stuff called sugar. Sugar acts like a superhero for the goo, keeping it from getting too runny. It's like a sticky superhero that makes the marshmallow stay soft, not slushy. So in the oven, the marshmallow is like a tiny pillow that gets stretched and squished. But because of the sugar, it doesn't turn into a puddle. It just stays soft and squishy like a cloud that's been warmed up by the sun. It's like a marshmallow's version of a spa day. In the end, the marshmallow stays soft because it's got this gooey, stretchy, sugar-powered magic that makes it happy to be in the oven. It's like a marshmallow's version of a happy dance, and we get to eat it. Win-win! So, you're about to bake a marshmallow, and it's like the universe is holding its breath. You put it in the oven, and suddenly it's not just a snack anymore, it's a science experiment in disguise. The marshmallow is like a tiny cloud, but instead of rain, it's all sugar and air. It's basically a sugary balloon waiting for the oven to give it a little pressure. The oven is like a warm hug that's also a little bit intense. It's not just heating up the room, it's turning the air into sugar-powered superhighway. But here's the thing, the marshmallow isn't just sitting there. It's actually getting ready to expand like a tiny balloon that's about to pop, but in the best way possible. So, the setup is simple. a marshmallow, an oven, and a whole bunch of science that happens while you're probably texting your mom about the smell. Okay? So the marshmallow goes into the oven, and the sugar starts to melt. It's like when you pour hot chocolate into a mug. The sugar dissolves and turns into a gooey mess. But here, the gooey mess is inside the marshmallow. But wait, there's more. The sugar doesn't just melt, it also starts to form a kind of syrupy web. It's like if you tried to make a spider web out of honey. The web traps air, which is why the marshmallow stays soft and light. Now, the heat from the oven helps the web stretch and expand. It's like when you blow up a balloon. The air gets trapped inside and makes it big and floppy. The marshmallow's web does the same thing with air. As the marshmallow cooks, the web gets stronger and the air gets trapped better. It's like when you make a paper airplane. The folds hold the shape and the air gets stuck inside to make it float. And there you have it. The marshmallow stays soft because the sugar makes a web that traps air. It's like a superhero power, but with sugar and heat. The next time you eat a marshmallow, you're basically eating a tiny balloon made of sugar. Okay, so here's the twist: marshmallows aren't just sitting there doing nothing. They're actually doing a little dance of their own. Think of them as the party crashers of the oven, sneaking in some moisture and making things extra gooey. The sugar in the marshmallow acts like a sponge, grabbing the water from the air in the oven. It's like a sponge bath for your sweet treat, but way more fun and less messy. This water then gets trapped in the sugar, which is basically the marshmallow's secret superpower. It keeps everything soft and squishy, even when the rest of the treat is turning into a crunchy snack. But here's the kicker: too much moisture and you end up with a soggy mess. Too little and you got a dry, crumbly disaster. It's like trying to walk the line between a marshmallow and a rock. So the magic happens because of this perfect balance of sugar and water. It's like the marshmallow's own science experiment, and it works every time except when the oven's too hot. But that's a story for another day. So here's the real deal. The science is like a magic trick. The marshmallow is basically a giant, squishy, sugary sponge. When you put it in the oven, the heat makes the sugar melt and the air inside expands, like a tiny balloon party inside the marshmallow. But here's the kicker: those balloons are made of sugar and water, not real air. So when the heat hits, it's like a sugar-powered party that doesn't end, just gets louder and louder until it's all gone. And the magic? It's all about the water. Water is like the marshmallow's best friend. When it turns into steam, it takes heat with it, which keeps the marshmallow from burning. It's like having a firefighter in your oven. But here's the funny part: water turns into steam, and steam turns into water again when it cools down. So you end up with a marshmallow that's still squishy, like a sponge that never got dry. So in the end, the marshmallow doesn't melt because it's a sugar sponge with a built-in fire extinguisher. The oven is just the stage, and the marshmallow is the main character in the sweet, sticky drama. So imagine if your marshmallow was a sad, squishy cloud that got dumped into a hot oven. It's like a fluffy pillow that's been told it's not allowed to be soft anymore, but it just keeps being soft anyway. The oven is like a giant hug that's also a microwave. It's warm, it's sticky, and it's trying to melt your marshmallow into a gooey, delicious puddle of happiness. Quick word from our sponsor: if this sounds like something you'd enjoy, take a look at the Fire TV Stick 4K streaming device. There's a link and a QR code on screen right now, and in the description below. Alright, back to it. That sugar is like a tiny party inside the marshmallow, and the air is like confetti. It makes it light, fluffy, and totally uninterested in becoming a cookie. So even though the oven is trying to melt it into a sad, gooey puddle, the marshmallow just keeps being soft because it's got a secret recipe for being squishy. In the end, it's like a marshmallow that's been told it can't be soft, but it just keeps being soft, because that's what it does. So here's the thing: I swear it's real. The marshmallow has a secret superhero power. It's called the water trap. This water trap is basically like a tiny sponge in your marshmallow, soaking up all that steam and keeping it from getting too dry. And guess what? That water trap is actually the sugar in the marshmallow. Sugar is like a magical sponge that holds water in, even when it's super hot. So when you put marshmallows in the oven, they're not just melting. They're doing a secret dance with the heat, holding on to water like it's their life support. And that's why they stay soft. Because they're not just melting, they're holding on for dear life to the water they were born with. So here's the first myth: marshmallows stay soft because they're made of magic glitter. No, really, that's what I thought when I was 6. Turns out, it's just sugar and air, which is way more impressive than glitter. But wait, I thought sugar was just sugar. Turns out, sugar is like a superhero in disguise. It traps air bubbles when you mix it, and that's how marshmallows get their spongy, fluffy texture. So when you put marshmallows in the oven, The heat actually helps the sugar dissolve a little more, which makes the air bubbles expand and the marshmallow puff up like a balloon. No magic required, but here's the kicker. If you overheat them, the sugar starts to melt and the air bubbles collapse, which is why they can go from fluffy to hard in seconds. So, you're not just baking marshmallows, you're conducting a chemistry experiment. So, myth number 1 is busted. Marshmallows aren't magic, they're science. And if you want to keep them soft, just don't let them burn. Simple as that. So I thought maybe marshmallows are just like pillows, soft and squishy. But nope, that's not it. They're more like a really bad balloon that's been sitting in the sun for a week. Still, they don't pop, they just melt. Wait, maybe they're magic? Like, they have some secret power to stay soft when you cook them. But no, they're just really good at hiding their water. Kinda like how my socks always hide in my laundry basket. So if they're not magic, then why don't they get hard like gummy bears? Maybe they're just smarter, or maybe they're just lazy. Either way, they're still soft when you take them out of the oven. Another theory? Maybe they're like a really bad joke. You think they're going to be funny, but they're just soft and sweet. And that's totally fine. I mean, who doesn't love a good joke and a good marshmallow? So, to recap, marshmallows don't stay soft in the oven because of magic, or secrets, or anything. They just do. And that's cool. And also weird, and kind of a mystery. But hey, I'm just here to explain things, not solve them. So, if you're ever baking something and you're like, why is this marshmallow still soft? Just remember, it's not a conspiracy. It's just a marshmallow. And that's okay. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about why marshmallows are so good, or why they don't get hard, or why I'm still here, subscribe. And if you have any questions, just ask. I mean, I'm not a real expert, but I'm trying. So, the next time you're at a bakery, look at the marshmallow cookies. They're like little soft pillows, but they're actually doing something really smart. They're not just sitting there, they're working hard to stay soft even when the oven is hot. And here's the kicker. Your favorite chocolate chip cookie? It's like a hard worker. It's got that crispy crust and a gooey center. But the marshmallow, it's like the chill guy who just wants to be squishy and not stressed. This is why you can have a marshmallow cookie and a chocolate chip cookie on the same tray. One is a crunchy hero, the other is a softie. They're both doing their thing, but the marshmallow is secretly being a great friend to the chocolate chip. So, if you ever wonder why your marshmallows don't burn up in the oven, it's because they've got the secret sauce. It's like they're holding a party in there, and they're not letting the heat win. They're just being soft, and that's their thing. So next time you're baking, remember, marshmallows are like the softest friends you can have. They don't get stressed, they don't get burnt, and they're just chill. And that's how they stay soft in the oven. It's basically a marshmallows version of a chill vibe. So here's the real deal. I tried to make marshmallows in a microwave. Like, really tried. I put them in, hit start, and waited. But what came out was not soft. It was like a hard, sad, crispy marshmallow. Like a dried out sock that's been left in the sun for a week. I mean, I know microwaves are different from ovens, but I thought maybe the same magic would work. But no, it's like trying to boil water in a microwave. It just doesn't do it right. It's like a bad cooking show host who doesn't know the rules. So what's the lesson here? Well, maybe not all ovens are the same. And maybe some things just don't work in a microwave. Like trying to make a marshmallow in a toaster. Or trying to make a marshmallow in a toaster oven. Which is basically the same thing. So in the end, I learned that marshmallows need the right heat, the right time, and the right place. Like a warm hug, but with more sugar and less patience. And also, not to trust the microwave, unless you're making popcorn, which is a different story. So yeah, marshmallows need their oven, not a microwave. And if you're trying to make them, make sure you're not trying to do it in a toaster, or a toaster oven, or a microwave toaster oven. I give up. So, imagine you're a marshmallow, and you're about to go through the oven's version of a reality TV show. You're on fire, but you're still soft. Because you're basically a sponge made of sugar and air. You're not just melting, you're cooking in a way that makes you stay squishy. It's like if a pillow got stuck in a toaster and somehow came out still huggable. So, even though you're getting roasted, you're not turning into a rock. You're staying soft because the sugar is basically a magic water balloon that doesn't pop when it gets warm. It's like the oven is giving you a spa day, but with more heat and less massage. You're getting cooked, but you're still the most comfortable thing in the world. And if you're wondering why you don't get crispy like a cracker, it's because you're basically a snack made of love and sugar. No need for crunch. So in the end, you're not just a marshmallow, you're a soft, squishy, sugar-powered miracle. And you're doing it all while being roasted. What a life. Okay, so the marshmallow goes into the oven, and instead of getting soft, it turns into a sad, crumbly mess. Like a sad cookie that forgot its purpose. Why? Because too much heat makes the sugar in the marshmallow melt too fast, and it can't hold its shape anymore. It's like trying to pour a syrup into a cup that's already full. Sometimes, the oven gets too hot or the marshmallow is too dry, and it just collapses into a sad, gooey pulp, like a melted candle with a bad attitude. And if you try to fix it by adding more sugar or water, you're just making things worse. It's like trying to fix a broken toy with more glue. It just gets messier. So the moral of the story? Don't overheat your marshmallow or you'll end up with a sad, crumbly, bitter reminder of what went wrong. So you're like, cool, marshmallows stay soft because of sugar and water. But here's the catch, sugar is a sneaky little devil. It actually makes the marshmallow harder than a rock if you don't do it right. The more sugar you add, the more it fights the water, and suddenly you're looking at a rock-hard gummy bear with a face. No, really, it's like that. So, the secret isn't just sugar and water, it's about balance. Too much sugar, and you're stuck with a hardened rock. Too little, and it's like eating a wet noodle. Not fun. The real trick is to find that sweet spot where sugar and water dance together like a TikTok trend. You know, the one that goes viral and never stops. So in the end, it's not just about what's in a marshmallow, it's about how you balance it. Like a toddler learning to walk. One step at a time. And maybe a little sugar. So how did we even figure out marshmallows stay soft? Probably by accident, like when someone tried to make a sweet and it just worked. Maybe they thought they were making something else, like a goose cake. Then someone said, hey, this is weirdly soft. And then another person said, yeah, but it's not burnt. And then someone else said, wait, is this edible? And then they all ate it. Quick word from our sponsor. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, take a look at the Apple AirPods 2nd generation. There's a link and a QR code on screen right now, and in the description below. Alright, back to it. Eventually, they realized it's about sugar, heat, and air. Sugar melts, air gets trapped, and it all bounces back into a soft, chewy mess. Like a magic trick with sugar and science. So they made rules like use sugar, add air, and heat it just right. And now we all know how to make marshmallows. It was a sweet accident, but now it's science. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching.